Hello, my dear. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. How are you today? I don't think I've done a reading for you before that I can remember. I do so many. Um, so I'd like to explain real quick kind of how this works. I see, hear, feel, sense, know. They talk to me, but they also show me pictures, and I call it spiritual charades. Try to describe the picture the best that I can, because there's always a reason for whatever they show or say. So if it doesn't make any sense now, keep it in mind, because you'll either remember it later, see it later, or somebody else will validate it for you later and go, I know what he's talking about. This is not exact science. We communicate the best way we can. Sometimes you're going to have to stretch it outside the box a little bit. He won't give me all the details. He'll give me just enough so you should know what he's referring to. So we're going to talk. We're going to talk to Chris. He said he's been patiently waiting. He's been patiently waiting for you, but also for me to get to his reading. He's being very sweet. I'm not. Sometimes I get yelled at. He's not yelling at me. He says I've been patient. Tell her that I'm sorry I had to leave the way I left. But he doesn't feel like you really have any issues with the reasoning or the way he left or knowing, other than you miss him, that kind of thing, but you don't really have it. He said he keeps saying issues, issues. You don't have issues with it. I wish I could have stayed longer. I needed you when I was here. You completed me. You loved me. You were my forever person. You are near and dear to me, and I love you. He says, tell her that. I am telling her. I'm telling her. He's very much at peace with everything. He's at peace with whatever happened to things after he left, like like his things or like physical things, because they don't give a shit about them after we leave because we don't need them anymore. They're just stuff. They're just stuff to us once we go to the other side. That couch is just a couch. That car is just a car. It has no meaning tied to us after we leave. So they honestly don't care what happens to their stuff when they leave, after they leave. He says, how are you? I see you're doing well, and it makes me happy. You have something that you hold maybe when you go to sleep or um, something that you hang on to really tight, like when you're missing him really bad or you're really upset and you go curl up in bed. It's, I don't know if it's a pillow or somebody made a pillow maybe out of something of his, something, something that, or maybe it's a stuffed animal. It's something soft and like you hang on to it and you curl up and you go to sleep, maybe with tears. And he sees this and he actually comes and sits on the edge of the bed, especially when you're really missing him or you're really upset about something and you're curled up hugging whatever this is. So if you pay attention, you might actually feel the bed move. Probably won't be a big thing. People seem to think, yeah, that's always yeah, they come in and they throw things across the room. No, no, they don't. Not usually. So You might feel the bed slightly move, or you might see a little dent where his butt would be sitting, down. He's showing down towards your feet. Doesn't have to be. It could be anywhere on there. Sometimes it's exactly what they show me, and sometimes it isn't. He says your hair looks lovely. So I don't know if you've recently done something different to it. He's just peaceful. He's just kind of like la, that kind of feeling I get from him. Just when we leave, we're met on the other side by a team, and I call it peeling us like an onion. They take all the negative things that you hang on to here on earth, even the things that you don't even realize that you're hanging on to, the heavy negative energies, and they kind of peel it off you, cleanse you like that till your soul is light and bright and cheery and at peace. Maybe 2 or 3 times they've allowed me to feel that utmost peace, and it's awesome. And it's hard to attain here on earth, but we're supposed to be striving for the love and the peace. They want us to do it here before we get there, because that is the ultimate goal, and we're kind of failing at it down here. So he started singing softly the song called If You Alexa, what's the name of the song?
That was If You're Reading This from 35 Biggest Hits by Tim McGraw.
If You're Reading This by Tim McGraw. So he wants you to go play that song, YouTube it, Google it, check out the words. There's a message in there for you. As soon as that song started playing, every hair on my arms and legs stood up. That his energy came in so strong with that song. And then I started crying. Another sappy reading. I get a lot of them. So, wait a minute, let me see. I made notes. Because he just said, I was supposed to leave here alone. And you did ask something about why didn't he come to get you for help? It was planned before we incarnate down here. We decide like our exit point. Like some of them are 1 day old, some of them are 100 years old. That timeline can waver depending on what's going on with the people around us and how it's going to affect them, what they're going to learn from it. But we're going to leave in that time period. But we also, I don't know if we clearly decide how we're going to leave before we get here, or we just get into the circumstances and it just happens. They've never made that clear to me. But we decide, where was I going with that, Rhonda? I'm blowing. It's out the window. No. But he said it was planned that he was supposed to leave alone. I've never heard one say that before. That's very possible. We we decide who our parents are going to be, what situation we're going to be in, because our soul has things to learn here. This is like a school for our soul down here. I know that might be too much. Depends on how much you know and how much you believe. He says, but I've never really left you. My physical body left you, but I've never really left you. And I can feel him. This is my right arm. I know some of these things look backwards, depending on what camera I'm on. And it's like he's got a hold of my arm like that, only from the other direction. but he's got a hold of my arm, and I can just feel it's almost like it's swelling inside my arm. It's what his energy is doing to me. I don't know for sure how you'll feel it because everybody feels the energy different. I don't know that it'll feel actually like a hand. When I go walking, I have a couple of spirits and I ask them to hold my hand when I'm on one of my woo-woo walks. And it actually feels like their hand, but I'm a little more susceptible to the energy probably. But anyway, you might just feel a warmth there. You might feel like your arm is kind of full inside there. You might feel a tingling. You could feel like goosebumps just in one spot. It could be anything. So just be aware if you feel that on, and it could be either arm. It doesn't have to be my right arm. Like I said, sometimes they show me exacts, sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's general. He says he does that sometimes when you're just sitting somewhere. Probably like you're watching TV, but you're not really watching TV. You're kind of zoned out. And he just reaches over and puts his hand on your arm. But he doesn't want to scare you either. And that's with a lot of them. They're afraid to scare you, or you'll think your house is haunted if they do something, or so talk to him. I promise you 1,000%. He can hear you, he can see you. Talk to him all you want to. And give him permission to come in. Give him permission to put his hand there. Give him permission to, let's say, rattle something or make his presence known, or however you want to do it that doesn't scare you. Because they definitely do not want to scare you. They just want you to be aware that they're not really gone. Just their body's gone. Mine's getting old and wore out. I need a new model. He says you don't need as much as you think you do. That you really have plenty, and you don't need as much as you think you do. And first it popped into my head, like maybe you're wanting a new car, and I thought, well, I'm getting a new truck. Well, he's not talking to me. I kind of need it, but he says you don't need as much as you think you do. You want, but you don't need some of the things that you think you need, because you really have enough. But you know how we are down here. It's always want, want, want. That's what we do. Want, want, want. And it's okay. I love you very much. I'm asking him a question. Okay, he says he met a grandma when he got there, but I feel more like it's a great grandma, or it could have just been a grandma that was at a distance from him or distant from him. Even could be physical distance. It could be just what's the word I'm grabbing for here? Maybe they weren't real close to each other. She's a little bit heavy, got an apron on, which usually means they like to cook, but most women did back then. That was our jobs. Thank goodness not me, they'd starve. She got short, curly, like permed old lady hair. And she's, like I said, a little bit chubby. But he was happy to see her. even if he didn't know his great grandma, if this is who it is, it doesn't matter. And he says an old chum from back in high school that was already there. But he's not showing me. I can't describe him. He's not showing that one to me. He said we were running mates in high school for a while. So he could have already been gone. I don't know how long you guys were dating or whatever. Don't be afraid to move on. All I want is your happiness. It might be too soon for me to say that, but don't be afraid to move on. Because my goal is to help you become happier than you already are. He says you're a beautiful person inside and out. And he saw that light in you. And that's what drew him to you. So he says, don't cover that up because the next person's going to need to see that. And it's okay if you do that. Because you still have to live your life. I like the way these guys have been slowing down the way they talk to me lately. So I catch all the words. Don't forget to be wild and free. Don't let anybody tie you down. And he doesn't mean like with a wedding ring, not that kind of tied down. You are an amazing person. And I'm glad you were mine for a while. Made my world complete. And when I asked him about kids, because you said something about having kids, his energy got really, really strong. He's very strongly protecting them. And of course, I have no clue how old they are. I'll just say kids from like 1 to 9 or 10, they see them, they hear them, and then they get to be about 9 or 10 and they go, yeah, I'm not telling anybody that because they'll think I'm crazy, that I have an imaginary friend. And I knew him in real life. But I think at least one of them feels him, notices him, maybe doesn't admit it, but notices his presence. Maybe they don't know that it's him, they notice his presence sometimes. Because, like I said, his energy got really strong when I asked him about the kids. So know that he's a very good guardian. He's safe to have in the house with them. You know, sometimes I go to cleanse a house and somebody will go, well, I have a demon in my house. I said, no, it's just grandma popping in, trying to get your attention so you know that she's there, helping out. So ask him to leave you more signs. He's not mentioning any signs. He keeps going like this. Have you seen him out of the corner of your eye? Like You're watching TV and out of the corner of your eye in your peripheral vision, and I count this as peripheral vision. I can be working at my desk and I'll see and raise my head and I don't see them. They do it to me too. Even though I can see them, they still do that thing to me, the peripheral vision thing. Anyway, you think you see somebody walking by you or walking down your hall and you turn and look and there's nothing there, so you think it's your imagination. It's not. Know that that's him. He's a very good guardian for your house. I don't think he's going to let anything in there that shouldn't be in there. And I love you. Just kind of matter of fact. But I love to see you happy. So let's start working on that. And with that, he's going to leave. My beautiful girl. All my beautiful hens. H-E-N-S. All my beautiful hens. All my beautiful girls. I love you all, each and every one, in a different way, as it should be. I don't know if he's doing this because I do it all the time, but he goes, peace out. I've been doing that a lot lately. So he might just be doing it because of that. Or maybe he likes to give the peace. That's what the grandson and I do all the time. He's 21. Peace. Peace out. Okay, with that, he's leaving. Much love to you, my dear. Thank you for allowing me to be his voice. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. I'm used to do it. Peace out. Later.